What is going on, guys? Aaron here, Curls in the Rack, back again with another product review video. It is going to be today on these handles from Trak Fitness. I think these are some of the coolest handles and most versatile handles that I have ever seen. Let's get into it. So these two handles are from a company called Trak Fitness, which is kind of hard to find, and also they don't have a big following on Instagram or social media. I've never ever heard of these handles until I went over to a buddy of mine's house who has a pulley system that is from Tough Stuff. They just were included with this. They didn't even know that they were going to be getting these handles. When they arrived, they were pleasantly surprised to find out about these handles. I went over there and saw them and I said, wow, those are really cool. I got to do a review on these. There's two different versions that you can get. One that came with the Tough Stuff was the Sport version here, and then went ahead and got the Pro version, which is right here. There's some differences in these, and I will ultimately tell you which one I think is better for the money, or better in general rather, when we go through these. The gist is that they move freely like this. The handles spin, and also they move like this. So whenever you're going to be doing your pulling or your pressing movements, the handles are going to move with your body. You control the direction of where the cable goes, rather than providing you any inconvenience with that you might see on those traditional handles. All right, rather than just yakking about it and trying to explain it, I'll just go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Let's say I wanted to do a cable crossover and come midline and then down towards the floor. Maybe focus on the bottom portion of the chest. When I go and do that, all the force is shifted to the top of my hand. Now, same concept if I was gonna go up with it. It shifted down towards the bottom portion of my hand. But with these handles, no matter where I decide to go with it, if I go straight over, if I go straight over and then I go up, I go down. The fact that this thing swivels like this and rotates like this and twists at the end makes it so that no matter what movement I want to do, it stays in my pattern of movement. I'm not reliant on the handle telling me where to go. And I'm not getting any pushback from the attachment. And the same goes for the Pro version. It just feels super smooth, no matter what direction I'm pulling in. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the price being the main difference between these. Well, not really the main difference, but it is a jump in price. These are $120, $20 shipping for two of these. It is $75 for one of these. But the differences between these, minus the obvious ones that you can see, is that this one is all one piece and it runs on a track like this. It runs actually all the way over to here and all the way over to here. This piece also twists and the handle rotates, okay? And this guy right here, as you can see, it has a cable that goes and attaches to both sides of this handle. There are little mini rollers inside of this portion of the handle where the cord rolls on. The handle also does twists, and this portion up here twists. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what you may want to consider before deciding on either one of these, on what I ran into. Let's say, for example, I want to do a cable crossover, and I have this version, right? This version, it doesn't provide a lot of clearance, a lot of space into there. So let's say I'm going to do a cable crossover and I come across my body. Well, as you can see here, I get hit right here. Well, I get hit from this too, but let's not pay attention to that portion of it. So it hits my wrist, right? And the same can be said while using a traditional one. Unless it has a lot of clearance in there, you're going to get hit. So that I didn't particularly like on this one. I think maybe they could have made it a little bit bigger, so that way, when it hits you somewhere on the forearm rather than right on the wrist. This one, on the other hand, I think is better for cable crossovers, because when I cross over with this one, This portion, it's going to hit me over here, more of the meat of my arm rather than on a bone. So for cable crossovers, I definitely think this one is better. Now, that being said, I do like this handle, and I think it is better when doing such movements as like a hammer curl. You know, because this one, it runs on the track like this, I'm able to get into that neutral position better. And it just feels a lot better. Whereas when I do that type of lift with this guy, it's kind of squirrely and it's all over the place. And the same thing can be said, and probably a better example is like a one-handed tricep extension, right? So I have the neutral grip, and the fact that this thing will rotate all the way over here, I can get full extension, and even if I want to go down farther than the handle allows me, it can still go around that loop up there, if that makes sense. So those two movements, I definitely like the Pro version better, but all the other movements, I like the other one better, and it's a better price. So if I had to choose one and only buy one pair, I would get the cheaper of the two options because they're awesome and they almost feel smoother. And what I mean by that is that the fact that this one is on a cord and it goes through these two rollers, it's not that it has drag on it, it just feels smoother when rotating this handle. Whereas this one is on the plastic track in there and the thing is on there, so it feels a little squirrely and it almost goes too fast for my liking, if that makes sense. Well, that is all I have for the video today, guys. Thank you for watching. I just thought, you know, this company's not doing anything to market themselves, and these are two of the dopest handles I've ever seen. Feel like they need to up their game because these things need to get into people's hands. And hopefully I helped you out. If I had to pick one, definitely would be this one. But you know what? If money was no object, I'd get them both because this one also has value. So anyways, like, subscribe. I'm gonna have new DIY and product reviews coming very, very soon after I take a little vacation. So sayonara, until I see you again, peace.